name is BenFlyingRetro, and I'm embarking on a quest to purchase every classic GI Joe comic from the original 80s and 90s Marvel run. Warning. Hunting down individual issues from every corner of the globe in whatever order the universe decides to give me. Join me and my pal Steve every week as we discuss my latest find. Welcome to Chasing Joe. Chasing Joe. It's Thursday. It's me, BenFlyingRetro, Chasing Joe. Woohoo! Get excited, viewer, listener. You're with us for the next hour. We got an episode to do. I am joined by, well, I thought that was S-Jubs, but you look like something from a 90s grunge band. You're so young and youthful and clean.
I like to think I'm channeling Han Solo. 70s Han Solo.
You're channeling some kind of Californian grunge, I don't know, or Seattle, I should say.
Hello, Ben.
Hey, I think me and you would look good in a band, actually. Well, we are in a band. It's Chasing Joe.
There we go. How are we on I see you've got your McDonald's shirt on again.
That's it.
You taking orders?
That's it. People keep looking at this and thinking that it's like 3D.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. The shadowing.
It is done in a glossy kind of iron-on texture. Yeah. It's definitely something they've added onto the shirt. So it's standing out. Yeah.
What's that
You're
scene
definitely going
in
to turn some heads.
Attack of the Clones? Awful scene. Obi-Wan's at some 1950s diner on Coruscant. And she's like, "You want some Jawa juice, honey?" Or something.
God, totally eclipsed by the, "You want to buy some death sticks?"
Oh, yeah. It's all bad. It's all bad.
You want to go home and rethink your life.
I think your delivery on both of those lines was better.
Cheers. Well, when you're acting with like a sort of green golf ball and a green environment and nothing is there, like, I don't know how they did it. They were pioneers.
I just feel like whenever I wear this, I just want to take people's orders. And I'm more than happy to. I just can't actually deliver on the orders.
Well, I have a righteous order that maybe you can deliver on, BenFlyingRetro. I want a hearty cup of Joe. Can you do that for me? There it is.
I certainly can. Look, this is in a Forbidden Planet mailer. I can tell you that it's it's either cost him or myself £1.90 to post this comic to me. Let's crack into it.
Goody.
Because that's what we do. Episode 44, we keep trucking. You're with us. Loving the comments, guys, by the way. Keep those coming. Okay. Oh, I can do a nice reveal.
It's a goodie.
It is issue 48, dropped March 11th, 1986. I was 5 years old. You were barely with us.
1.5.
There you go. Mm-hmm. Wow. Look at the condition of this. This was actually better check. This was an eBay purchase. Before we get into the cultural landscape, do you want to have a little guess?
Oh, okay. Well, Forbidden Planet, and you said it was £1 whatever to post, so it was an eBay seller based in the UK, presumably?
Yes. I haven't
in at all.
I don't know. Have I done an eBay USA purchase yet? I've done Etsy US, not eBay.
Keep it local, man. Really keeps that shipping cost low.
You get punished on international shipping on eBay.
Disgusting. Even comic books. I'm going to say this is a £5 or £6 book.
It is a £2.99 book.
This guy.
Let's bring the deals. Let's bring everyone up to speed. Episode 44 running total is £210.21. That's getting up there. Mm-hmm. That equates to 286 USD. I have been kindly given 12 donations. So there we go. £210, 44 issues. I think I'm doing okay. Right. Let me extend an invitation to you and the watchers, viewers, listeners. I'm going to ask you all to meet me at Twin Pines Mall in the middle of the night. I'm a creepy guy that you don't know, but you'll come down there. I've got a DeLorean. I've got some fresh plutonium that I have ripped off from some actual terrorists. Just hop in. And we are going to go back to March 11th, 1986. So you're in the DeLorean, turn on the radio, and you are going to get Chain Reaction by Diana Ross. Do you know that song? It's a banger. Get in the middle of a chain reaction. You get a medal when you're lost in action. Something,
3 or so keys in that little little riff. Well done.
Look, I'll park up. We're all going to go and see a movie together. One of my absolute fave kind of high school coming of age films. It's Pretty in Pink. Does this film mean anything to you? I adore it. I absolutely love it.
Who is even in it, Ben? Come on.
Oh, are you kidding me? James Spader plays a fantastic high school yuppie douche. I don't know the actors' names of the main roles, but it's John Hughes, so it's the same girl from Breakfast Club.
Sure.
Famously, she never really made it out of the 80s and sort of had a career going forward. Duck, does Duck mean anything to you? Ducky. Have you even seen Pretty in Pink?
Native.
Oh,
sorry,
did you not do all of those kind of
Unless I had it on tape, just like lying around at home. No,
maybe that just missed you. Maybe you were more the 90s one, which was
80s films. There was one genre that did it for me. And that was science fiction.
Who was
the Last Starfighter, Star Wars, Dark Crystal?
Okay. Yeah, no. You would probably been a little bit too young for those ones. What about the 90s coming of age films?
Also, I leaned in. By the 90s, we were starting to get.
You weren't interested of coming of age.
We were getting Batman. We were getting Blade. We were getting some others that we shouldn't really mention. But
well, look.
I didn't need any coming of age shite. I was a fanboy. I was a nerd.
I was just in everything. I was like a lion. I roamed from different social groups and things like that. But I feel like every time I do this cultural landscape and we do the Movieplex, I'm always talking about a Police Academy film. And that's because a Police Academy film came out every single year from 84 up to 90. So in the other screen, you could have watched Police Academy 3, Back in Training. Now, last night, I actually watched Police Academy, the first one, and I'm not sure if those have aged particularly well.
Why? Politically incorrect?
Oof, wow.
Rough. Okay.
Comics. Now, get to the comic shop. You've picked up this. Please don't just leave with one book. Why didn't you pick up Uncanny X-Men 206? The X-Men are continuing their cleanup effort of the San Francisco area following their battle with the Beyonder and the Omega Sentinels. As Storm patrols the streets, she comes across a mugging in the Chinatown area. Blob shows up. All hell breaks loose. Now that's the sort of description you want from the comics.
Well done, Ben.
Yep,
well
you were
done.
very unhappy when I just named the comic. Right. Now, how many people have we got in this DeLorean? We've got one, and then we've probably got two in the back. So I'm going to take you all to the arcade where we are going to play two-player Ikari Warriors. Memories of this game. I think
I played it not too long ago at the closing of the Retro Brisbane arcade.
It may have started out being an official Rambo game, and then they may have lost the license and changed it. What have I got here? The player takes the role of commandos Red and Blue, who must try to reach the village of Ikari. Enemy units attempting to kill the player include tanks, enemy soldiers, and helicopters. A number of power-ups along the way help the player achieve victory. Solid game, if I remember correctly.
Sure.
I'll take you to Tower Records, VHS. Commando was out. Now, you must have good memories of Commando.
Dude, we taped it off TV.
Good.
On the sort of the public broadcaster.
Cut version or?
Absolutely. They butchered that film.
What
there are no F-bombs.
Swearing. Okay.
Yeah. All fucking hell is going to break loose.
Tell you what they cut for sure. Garden Shed. Disc cutter takes the forehead off. That wasn't in your version, baby Steve.
Dude, so many unanswered questions.
I can't think of anything else that was particularly gory, though. They probably kept in most of the lead flying around.
It just always came as such a surprise to me when I heard Arnie use the F-bomb because, he was such a Boy Scout in the version that I had. I mean, he's killing bad guys, but they were bad guys. He wasn't using any potty mouth while he did it.
Yeah, what about the let off some steam Bennett? Did they show the pole going in?
Amazingly, that passed the censorship.
Right. Okay.
My dad was a censor once upon a time.
Oh, really? A sanitized version of Commando? What was it? About an hour long? It's already famously, I think, 1 hour, 25 minutes, including credits. I mean, it's barely... I think there is a runtime that you... have to meet for it to be a motion picture.
Feature length.
And it's something around the 120 something mark. All the Police Academy films are 123. Whew.
Gone are those days, my friend. Ain't no brisk watches anymore. Everything's 2 hours plus.
I know. I love a 2 hour film. I think you watch a film that's 90 minutes, it does shift everything. Because basically after... You get 20 minutes of kind of setting everything up, another 20 minutes, and then you start your climactic sort of half an hour of the film.
Mate, I want to be contrarian and say I wish they'd bring back the era of the 90-minute
Really?
Yeah, a brisk watch.
Action Force the movie, 89 minutes, if I recall. Or was it 90?
Sweet spot.
The sweet spot. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm set to do a rewatch of GI Joe, the movie.
For
Super 7, yes, for the flagship. Let me do a little. This would have come out already by the time Chasing Joe goes live.
Yeah.
But if you can recall, or if you would want to listen to it now, the next GI Joe episode will deal with Super 7's foray into GI Joe the movie, making action figures based on the film. They've already done a wave. They might do more.
Anything obscure in there?
What figures do you want to see? Well, just off the top of my head, because I haven't done the
Cobra La. Obviously, they are.
Yes, they've done the Royal Guard. They've done an unmasked Jinx. Lovely. They've done a cartoon accurate colors Falcon, and rounding out the foursome. And this is an entertainment exclusive. But they're doing the Once a Man Cobra Commander. So he's in the process of mutating into a snake.
Yeah.
But is there anything from G.I. Joe the movie that you want in plastic that you never got?
No, nothing actually springs to mind. Are there any interesting variants? I quite like them when they're all in their snow gear at the beginning. That could be interesting. I mean, I don't think they're doing that. But even Snake Eyes has a nice kind of coat on, doesn't he?
Yeah,
in those scenes.
Everybody, Duke, he's wearing a parka. So you say that you doubt they're going to do that? Well, they already have.
Oh, sorry.
The previous wave to this Cobra La sort of movie-inspired wave had a Cobra Commander in his cold weather gear.
Right. Wow. That's cool.
It gets a bit weird around the bum because it is a tunic. It's sort of there's a dress below the belt line. And normally in O-ring construction, you steer clear of that, or you put in a kind of a secondary, like a soft rubber or a fabric. They could have done fabric like Dusty's Havelock, but instead they made it this weird, like as part of the sculpt,
Oh,
So
you've
when
got
he
me.
sits, it's weird. If you look
You
at
got
it
me
from the back,
jonesing
it's
to
weird.
watch that scene now. It was like my favourite scene in that film. I wish it went on for way longer before Cobra Attack. You know, when they're just milling
Just on the side.
around and setting up the BET. We've got a friend to this day, he's probably almost 50 now, that we still call BET. His name's Brett, but we just called him BET, the Broadcast Energy Transmitter. We called him that his whole life. It's stuck. The BET, the Broadcast Energy Transmitter. That's a good scene. It's a little bit Hoth-like, I think, setting up. Why are they Cobra just attack en masse? Kind of, yeah. Why are they surprised by that? I need to watch that film again. That's a good scene. It's probably I was always the first half of that film I liked more than the second half. For me. Anyway, we do have a comic to discuss, everyone. Right, let's talk about the cover.
But, listener, if you are dying to hear Chasing Joe talk about G.I. Joe, the movie, let it be heard. Drop
Let
down
it
into the
be
comments.
heard.
Yeah.
Yeah, let it be heard.
Request it.
Maybe me and you will have a chat about the movie one time.
Maybe we'll do a watch-along. A
Before we talk
live
about-
Chasing Joe event.
Yes. Look at this. This is from 1986. Look at this. Kids are learning on the back. Look at that. Your
Power
body.
pack.
Look, S-Jubs, just in case you don't know, your body belongs to you. And you have a right to decide how and when anyone touches you. This is pretty progressive for 1986. There we go. Power pack and the Amazing Spider-Man giving good advice to the youth.
At least it wasn't Bill Cosby.
Ooh.
Imagine that. I mean, he was like the face of like kid-friendly, I don't know,
What do we
advertising.
think? What do we think of this cover? It's
Mike Zeck.
It's dripping in Zeck for sure. Is that just a generic green shirt pit officer dude? Or is that a
Did
name?
G.I. Joe in the comic books have any generic pit officer dudes? I don't think it did. Did
Who
it?
is that? I don't remember this
Come
scene
on.
I don't remember this scene in it. It's not. Who is it?
Ben, hand in your G.I. Joe credentials.
You tell me.
Gung-ho. That's Gung-Ho.
Oh God, it so is. Of course.
Zartan doesn't have a pistol at this point.
Yeah, because they have a great scrap at the end.
They do.
Yeah, of course it is. It's because you can't see any of the other colour pops on him. Oh, shit. Also, sorry, I just dropped a swear. I've just realised that this is torn. Wow. Look at this.
$3. Cry your tears.
Yeah.
Shame.
Okay, fine. I can deal with that. I'll deal with it. Damn it. What do you want to say about this cover? For once, I don't have too much to say. He's got a lovely hand cannon, and I like how it goes over the G.I. Joe font. I like the big signage, so we're intrigued to know, like, oh my God, Zartan is like in the G.I. Joe headquarters, and he's on level 3. Yeah, what do you think?
Strong. Very strong.
Because of the proximity, it's very close, isn't it?
Yeah, we are pushed into the nostrils of Zartan and Gung-Ho, two incredibly like popular characters. They are like Zartan clearly has the upper hand, but he's also on the run. He's like all the information is on this cover. It is a masterclass in visual storytelling. This is top 10 for me. This might even be top 5 for me.
This is incredible stuff. Congratulations. I'm loving this passion. I tell you what, Zartan's expression is amazing because you get the feeling, he's on the lookout, he's on the run, he's kind of what could be around that corner.
There's something else that's interesting in the visual storytelling of this.
Ooh,
Look at
go
the
on.
Look at the neck wrinkles on Gung-Ho. Like there's
Yes.
this serious, like anaconda-like pressure being applied to his neck. Zartan's got him by one arm.
Yeah,
Like-
also his eye is kind of almost going into the back of his head. He looks like he's about to pass
blacking
out.
And it's not like Zartan has him in a lock or anything. He's not applying any additional leverage to his forearm. So what I infer from this is something that is borne out by the scripting in this book, that Zartan is beyond human. he is stronger than the average man. He's got like...
Well, they do drop those breadcrumbs quite a lot.
One of the burliest Joes by the neck with one arm, and he is putting him into like a sleeper. We don't know about Zartan's like esoteric ninja training at this point, but we do get information that not only does he have this almost like mutant power, we'll get into that in a minute, to blend into the background or assume like the person's appearance even down to their uniforms, but he is inhumanly strong and agile and has incredible stamina. Like he is a mutant.
There's a lot of blacked out inks on this cover. The blacked out coming down from the peak of Gung Ho's cap is so lovely with just his eye.
And yet, like, imagine if this wasn't on a Dutch angle. Like, so much about this cover is the
I love the MTV Dutch angle.
Well, all the geometric shapes are off kilter. Like, it's so good. Just only the gun.
Only slightly, though. But yes, this is Zartan's MTV music video for sure with that camera angle. The gun is great. Would you like to give us one of your S-Jub synopsis?
Well, this issue is entitled Slaughter because it serves to introduce Sergeant Slaughter, but it's really not much about him.
Yeah, not really feeling that at all. Yeah, strange title.
It is a run around the pit. Zartan has been brought into the pit under the auspices of him being dressed up as Ripcord. So they think he's Ripcord, but Doc quickly makes the discovery, hang on, this guy's blood type doesn't match Ripcord. And he comes to at that point, in which case it becomes like a basically Mystique running around the X mansion. Like he's assuming multiple identities. Eventually it spills out onto the top of the chaplain's assistant motor pool at Fort Wadsworth, in which case Sergeant Slaughter knocks him out. But we've got a little subplot where the remains of the Cobra Ninja, Storm Shadow, washes up ashore on Cobra Island. And Mindbender's like, let's keep his remains.
Yes.
Might be useful genetic, I suppose.
It's a nice first page.
It's great. Don't you love how Mindbender's like clutching his cape like a towel? He's like...
Dude, I've got it in my notes. I like how Mindbender is managing his lady drape. I wish cloaks and capes were mainstream now. I absolutely love it. I mean, even on the second panel, he's kind of managing it very strangely.
Well, I don't know, but maybe he suddenly had a bout of modesty and he's like, my nips are showing. Oh,
Destro looks like full kind of 50s villain Ming the Merciless on that opening page. There's the head, the way that the head sculpt has been drawn there is really cool. Actually.
So Rod Wiggum is on pencils, and something that's always bugged me about this opening splash page is how Storm Shadow's lifeless body is depicted. Like, it looks like he's being supported by his own arms. Like,
no, there's no way that dude looks passed out. I mean, he looks compos mentis to me there, I'd say.
Yeah, for Destro to be able to like hoist his head up one-handed like that, he must be exerting like a crush kind of pressure on that skull. Like
it's salty seas. Very buoyant.
It's starched up Storm Shadow's tunic to the point where he's like stiff. No, I don't know. I've never liked it. I think he should be slumped forward, like hanging. You know, if you've ever held a body that is lifeless, it is a heavy weight, difficult weight to manage, to kind of
Well, look, it is a difficult weight to manage, but I tell you who manages it perfectly, and that is the two Cobra eels that are drawn just how I like.
Yeah.
Oh, nailed the backpack, scuba gear. Oh, that is joyous.
The mouthpiece is amazing.
Now, when you had that sucker, I've got so many replacement eel backpacks that the core one is black, jet black, the one that actually comes with the original figure, and then What were
accessory
those? And where was I buying the accessory packs from? They were joyous. I think I must have had so many because I've got all these different weapons in blues and different colours.
I wasn't alive at the time, but my understanding was that they were peg warmers, so they were pretty.
They
available.
shouldn't have been. My goodness, they were like, I mean, precious. Just to get a load of backpacks and blasters, no problem using those. No problem.
It has kid appeal, but for adult collectors to be pairing up your like awesome 80s action figures with anything but their original colorway pieces, I don't know, man. I can't do it. I can't do it.
Why were they alts in terms of the colors?
The colors. Maybe to add variety. That was the thinking.
Yeah, I don't think anything was black in there. I don't think there was anything that was black.
No. Maybe the thinking was, why would kids buy this if it was the same color as their existing one?
Did it come with a load of foot pegs as well, I think?
It came with 2 stands apiece. So each pack would have 2 stands. I think I have one. I have 2 actually. And it's fully complete. And it's on card. I think there are 2 per accessory pack. I know that the sort of the battle stations, like the missile launcher, the mortar launcher, the Cobra rifle range, like those all came with 2 apiece. So maybe it was the same with the accessory pack.
Well, just give me a video game where I'm playing as a Cobra eel, or give me a 20-minute animation. Just give me something. I'm really interested in those dudes at the moment.
Oh, they're awesome.
I just think they are the most stunning fig. The crimson chest plate, you know, we've spoken about this before, but that Action Force cover with the knife is amazing. But
do you get the distinct impression that Destro is calling Baroness big time on her bullshit? It's not like he's giving his lover a pass. He is very curious as to why she was so quick to gun down Storm Shadow in the previous issue. But like, this is dealing with the fallout, and I love the fact that Destro is pissed off about it.
Yeah.
Like, why did you see fit to shoot an unarmed man who was exhausted from battling sharks and eels and just washed up on shore? You shot him. You were supposed to be his comrade at that point. Like what was going through your head, woman?
Trouble in paradise there.
He is not pleased, no.
Oh, don't you love her gloves with the Cobra insignia on them?
Strong.
Very strong. Like an elongated one.
So the toy had sculpting there. So it's not like Wiggum is pulling this out of nothing. But it was never picked out in red. And now we're getting a glimpse of what it would look like if those gauntlets had red Cobra symbols.
Yeah, the character art in this entire issue is amazing.
Yeah.
I've picked that up in my notes. I just really kept noticing every single page how amazing, particularly like the faces and heads and expressions. There's, where have I got it here? There's quite a lot to talk about. This page, this stuck out to me with just, I was stuck on this page for a long time, just drinking in how well he's drawn these characters, especially Scarlet.
The realization that there is an intruder, and the intruder can assume the appearance of everyone. Wiggum has done some amazing, they call it acting. It's acting. He's drawn these faces with such terrific drama in them. Doc making the realization that the blood on his petri dish is not ripcords.
It's one of those things, this happens in TV a lot, where you know, the audience knows something, but the characters don't. And if you don't play that correctly, that can actually be really annoying. And I feel like they wrap all that up nice and quick. And you're not being like, come on, it's obvious. He's, you know, Docs he sorts it out. And it's like, okay, boom, on we go. Would you like to, let's talk about Zartan. So Zartan is a master of disguise and illusion, the ability to alchemize. One thing I noticed, because it kept happening so many times, and I do like how they draw it with those kind of pops and red and like bloop, bloop, bloop. My question was, do you think there is an audio element to his transformations? Or do you think it happens in total silence? Or do you think there is like a...
Well, the conventional explanation that he's using holography and
Yes.
light has not necessarily got an audio.
No.
Like, unless there's a sort of a snap to it or
Yeah.
crackle. But
And a pop.
He's in the pit without any of his gear. Like my issue with this issue is, and you had to do this if you're going down the route of Zartan having some kind of disguise power, you have to, I suppose, showcase it in the most extreme situation, which is this, escape from the enemy headquarters.
Yes.
But it's pushing it out a little bit too far for my liking. Like, this strains my understanding of what Zartan is.
I think he's one of the most interesting characters to ask people, how did you play with your Zartan as a child? Because here, this panel when he's scrapping with Gung Ho, why do you persist in following me? You can't win, you know. My strength is quite inhuman. Now, is that just bravado, or is it inhuman? Is he super strong? I never personally never played him as having super strength at all. In fact, certainly had him disguised as people, and then would basically, chuck the actual Zartan away and then pretend that whoever he's disguised was him.
Right.
I never ever made him super strong. He certainly wasn't a chump, but did you?
I did the opposite. He was somewhat, and this is primarily given to me by the Action Force continuity.
Yeah,
which held him as like
the comics.
Well, back in the Battle Action Force days, that was my first introduction to Zartan. And in his debut arc, which is called Operation Snakebite, he's this strictly swamp creature. Like, he absolutely is a denizen of the swamps. He doesn't say much. He is impossibly strong. He seems to be able to dive down into the depths of this murky, muddy water and like snap Action Force divers' necks with ease, drag them down like he's a crocodile. Like he's
the mystery.
He's got some inhuman properties, but not once in that arc does he assume anyone's identity. His modus operandi is to be like an infiltration specialist par excellence, without like doing the kind of the theatrics.
It's impossible to talk about Zartan without talking about the amazing voice acting from the Sunbow cartoons. That really was my Zartan, informed me. And, he was always popping up in episodes, and they used to play him to be quite cool, but then they also gave him some sort of goonish moments as well. But
shout out to my buddy Gary V.
Okay.
Of the Chaplain's Assistance Motorpod, fellow podcaster, so check him out. If you like your Joe stuff, you might like what he does. He just got back from Joe Fest 2025
Amazing.
with a signed copy of this book with Zach Hoffman's signature, who played Zartan on Sunbow.
Oh, amazing.
And Sergeant Slaughter, Rob Remus himself, signed this book. Because it is actually the first appearance of Sergeant Slaughter, hence the title.
That is amazing. Both signed on the cover.
And we're dealing with that comic right now. I mean, like, it's a lovely, like, trifecta.
But that voice was incredible. It was perfect. It was perfect, and that was what I had in my head when I played with that fig, for sure. One of
well, have you ever experimented with a little bit of reverb, my friend, and like done
very much so? Yeah,
a theatrical Zartan voice.
Yes,
it's fun.
Oh wow,
you can conjure it up. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he really is one of the standout characters from GI Joe, from the whole IP. He's a big player, a big hitter, and I love that they, from my knowledge, haven't fully kind of Boba Fetted him and explained him to death.
Haven't they?
Or have they?
Well, no. You know what? His
multiple canon, I suppose. Multiple,
But within ARA, his career before Cobra Commander kind of crosses his path is kind of mysterious. Like,
Yeah. That's why, I mean, I like that. I don't want to, I love head canon. That's like my favorite part is filling in the blanks. I don't want to be just spoon fed. Oh, this is exactly how he's changing into these guys. And this is where he gets his super strength from. And
what is your headcanon in terms of explaining his power? Is it technology? Does it come from a test tube? Is it genetic?
So from the Fig and like pre-Sumbo, I just thought he could, almost in a kind of Mission Impossible way, was, skilled at actually making faces. But that required, pre-planning. Couldn't just go around and just click his, just turn into someone.
Well, you're a fan of the Mission Impossible series. You've seen the sort of the face maker device.
Yeah, it knocks him up pretty quick.
His backpack is perfect.
This issue.
No, mate. Did you have his backpack?
He is going.
Yes.
Yeah, with the other face is incredible.
But that backpack to me suggests that face maker technology. Like he can take a 3D scan of someone's face and it can quickly like synthesize an accurate.
But also, I'd always take it to be quite relatively crude as well. Because in Mission Impossible they have I love how they do explain the voice with a little patch. To change your voice. But obviously Zartan's relatively buff, sort of, limited who he could. I mean, look, in this one, he's doing the freaky deaky. He's clicking his fingers and changing for fun. Oh, that's a good panel you just went on there, by the way, with the Ore Striker just slamming out of the motor pool. Woo!
The speed.
Just the bold GI Joe insignia on that side there. That's very exciting.
Ben, how do you rate GI Joe's strategy in flushing out their intruder?
Look, they're meant to be the absolute tip of the sword. They seem to be falling for the same trick. Although I do love how Gung Ho switches that up, and you're kind of like, not again. Are you kidding me? Is it Gung Ho that switches it up? Who is the one that's like, no, we had this deal where we had to have 3 people. Duke would never he'd call me by my name.
Never call me Trooper.
Yeah. That's a pretty cool panel there, half and half as he changes.
I like that. I mean, that does give GI Joe some credibility. That you need to have 3 people present in order to rescind any orders. But like at one point they're putting foam down.
I really wanted to. I knew that you would not like that strategy.
Invisible Man shtick, or what is it, Hollow Man with Kevin Bacon? Oh Jesus!
Talk to me about Blowtorch, man.
They're firing flame in this underground base where no doubt like they need air filtration equipment. They need to actually have an oxygen supply. They're putting flame through their.
They're making matters worse there.
That is reckless beyond. There's an armory down there. There's no doubt oxygen. They have a medical bay. You're going to be using a flamethrower near that stuff. Jesus.
Hey, I've got a lot of other stuff in my notes here. I do enjoy the scene with the bureaucrat, the Cobra bureaucrat puffing on a cigar with a lovely Cobra tie that he's donning.
I knew there was something I missed. So this is gaining legitimacy for Cobra Island's recognition.
Yeah, but you got to imagine, 86. This is highfalutin. I mean, this comic is layered and nuanced. This is that's not a scene for kids there. I just think it's so good to have. That is, you could so easily have that page not be in this issue, but one page actually adds a lot of plot and story going forward.
Look, Larry was writing for himself. Like, it would probably keep him up late nights.
As a lot of good creators should do, I think.
You're turning this over in your head thinking, like, how do I keep America from invading this upstart terrorist nation?
Yeah. How do I protect them somehow?
It's leverage. Like, this Cobra lawyer is sitting in the Capitol saying, like, if you don't give us recognition. And if you don't stop making forays into our territory, who's to stop us from renting out beachfront property to Cuba, to the Soviet Union, and get them to, maybe put up a few missile sites within striking distance of the American heartland? Like, it's a threat, but it's like better than the devil than the devil who has nuclear weapons at their disposal.
And he's super smug, and he's blowing smoke rings because he knows that from a legal point of view, he's fine here. He's just chilling. He's trolling them effectively.
Big time. Well, it's resonances of the Bay of Pigs. Like that's what they're playing on. Those
I'm
fears.
more than happy just to gloss over the Slaughter stuff. It's certainly not my favourite aspect of this issue at all. Slaughter in ARA, I don't know. I kind of maybe okay with him in the Sumbo stuff, and I had some fun playing with him as a kid, but never a character that I was drawn to as a child or an adult.
Was he a super soldier in your play? Was he?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was super strong. But really, I actually did use. He was a drill instructor. If ever we did play or set up, he'd be running PT effectively. But I never had him as a main story, influencing story much. I don't know. How do you feel about Slaughter?
Well, it probably was a symptom of how I got him, because I got him with the Warthog.
Hey, look, well, that's interesting. One of my favourite vehicles. So, yeah. but I don't really feel like he's connected to it for me. Not really. It's not like I had to have Slaughter driving that thing. It's like
that thing was a favourite vehicle for me, and it made him, more than anything, a combat frontline guy.
Okay.
As soon as the Warthog was totaled, he was in the field with a heavy machine gun.
Yeah.
Running around. Like, his uniform suggests that as well. He had a bandolier of bullets. So that version, more than any other, makes him look frontline. Makes him look
less
like he should be in the shit. Yeah. He's not wearing a tank top and, dog or whistle. Tank top and a whistle, that guy belongs in the drill instructor role.
I don't even really like him in the movie. I think I probably maybe liked him in the movie as a kid, but I don't know.
If you liked him from professional wrestling, I wonder how you would feel about this introduction. Because
I think that's part of the issue for me, because I was big into WWF at the time. Okay. There was some annoying storylines going around with him. I just never thought he looked that good in the ring, and he didn't sort of look beefed up. He was kind of more from the old school. He was just a big dude. But yeah, certainly not my favourite character in GI Joe.
Well, look, his depiction in the cartoon and in this issue is this kind of muscle-bound Adonis. Like,
is Larry a fan? Does Larry even put him in ARA that much?
In the 1997 Toy Fair issue, where they gathered Larry's hot takes on his favorite figures or his favorite characters and his least favorite characters, he lumped Sergeant Slaughter in least favorite, just saying I've got nothing against the guy. I've met him on many occasions. He's lovely. But I just did not know what to do with this character.
Mm-hmm.
Do you lean into what he really is? Mm-hmm. In the wrestling ring? Do you try and make him a combat soldier? What?
Yeah.
Hasbro handed me this dud concept, and I had to kind of run with it.
Yeah, he's probably got limited mileage from a story point of view. There's more interesting players out there, I guess. And yeah, it's just funny how this is his introduction, yes, in ARA.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty weak, I'd say.
So
as far as introductions go.
Yeah, to anyone who hasn't read the issue or anyone unfamiliar at this point, he arrives at the pit, has his orders, but the guys in the motor pool, Steeler, Clutch, Heavy Metal, they're all orders can be faked, we don't believe you. So he decides to beat them down. And take them out, and that's how he wins their respect.
Yeah,
very alpha.
Now I tell you what,
but he does deck Zartan and stops the pursuit. So
yeah, the 50-50, fine. fine.
Classic.
He's very much there, drawn kind of like the "your country needs you" vibes. Look, we are not putting this issue to bed before we've spoken about the Dreadnoks. And they're in Eddie's diner in one scene, and it's beautifully drawn. The whole page, in fact, is
detailed. Wow.
Yeah, very cinematic and like really lovely composition. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 panels, getting a lot across there. There's what have I got here in my notes? There's something about, you call them the Holy Trinity, but
Unholy Trinity. Oh yeah.
Not Wonder Woman, Bats, and Superman.
Rip a torch and buzzer.
Yeah. The visual design of those three really, they complement each other so well. Just these kind of biker street punks. Ripper especially for me because he wears a crop top. I just really sat looking at these panels and the ones where they're at the hospital. Like, think what you will about their characterization. Their visual design, I think, is so amazing. And that's completely replicated on their action figures as well. They're just like you're having fun drawing those guys, I think, or creating those guys.
Precisely why they got so much play in both the cartoon and the comic book. Like, bikers.
It's perfect.
I never did understand it myself, but I guess, I mean, it's easy to explain now as an adult that like they serve as this relief from this very straight, heroes versus terrorists story. You've got these elements of anarchy, and the designs are so strong.
I want a poster of the Unholy Trinity. I want a poster of just staring, like stood all three next to each other, just down the barrel, inked up, coloured up. I think their design is amazing because also, let me tell you something, 80s street punks and things like that can go really bad. They make it look easy because they are so cool, but oh my God, they could have easily been rubbish looking. A perfect example of that is a bit off-piste here, but I think in Stranger Things Season 2, there's an episode that you could literally just delete. It's kind of an else, like, Eleven meets some punks, some like 80s punks. Are you familiar with this episode? And it's the most inauthentic episode of Stranger Things, which prides itself on really nailing everything. But the punks are like, they're awful. They're so bad. They're like embarrassing. And I was like, you should have just looked at Buzzer, Ripper, and Torch of how to do this. Because they are perfectly designed. I want a camo crop top. So yeah.
Nice.
I just read this
Easily
issue and
done,
I really...
Benjamin. Easily done. I feel like I could just cut this one up that I'm currently wearing.
I just really enjoyed them visually in this issue. Maybe for the first time in a little while, I just really looked at them. I was like, these designs are amazing.
And they are sheltering Zartan at this point. And Zartan isn't actually Zartan. It's Ripcord.
Yeah.
It's hilarious that they don't cotton on to the fact that this is actually a G.I. Joe.
They're a little slow.
Well, he's acting really weird. And their first reaction is, quick, let's get him away from here, get him away from any kind of Cobra authorities, because if they catch on that Zartan is acting weird, and if he gets fired, then we're all fired.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, there's loads crammed into this issue, because there's a good little bit where they're in the ambulance. And that's beautifully drawn as well. Just pull that up, and we can look at those panels. Oh, yeah, look at them in that ambo.
Hooning. Jeez.
Yeah, with it. I mean, yeah. What great issue that was posted to me, S-Jubs. And also, I failed to ask you what this issue means to you? Do you have it? How have you read it in 2025? I'm assuming you own this in Cape Town.
Yes.
Okay,
I
so
do.
you do own it. But
Actually, you know what? I'm not sure if I have the original paper. Let me check my checklist. Oh dear. I mean, I definitely have.
Oh,
in
sorry.
trade
When
format.
you say you own it, you could mean trade. Okay. Would these still be the Marvel trades, issue 48, or would you be
Yes.
on to the IDW by then?
It would be the Marvel trades, and I do not have this issue in floppy.
Well, don't worry, S-Jub. Someone will knock on your door, and they will say, "There you go.
Then
Have that."
you need a copy that's not ripped.
Oh man, don't.
Oh
Do you
dear.
see the rip? It almost
Sorry,
looks like
mate.
it's part of it, like a door or something, but that is a rip. It's not a rip, it's a cut. I don't know what's happened there.
Benjamin, did you
Yeah.
get as far as the letters page on this issue?
Yeah, I did. I read these letters. I thought you were going to bring this up because there's quite a bit of heat, isn't there?
There is.
In fact, pretty much every single letter is just complaining.
Or fighting it out for a no prize, because in a previous issue we had Dr. Mindbender's introduction, and famously he's misintroduced as Dr. Brainwave, so people were saying, oh, that's an error, but failing to no prize it. And then someone did write in and say, Destro's just rubbing it in that this guy's a fraud, so he's naming him incorrectly on purpose, like
Yeah.
sarcastically, Dr. Brainwave. That got a no prize, incidentally. But my favorite letter that I'd like to pull out is it comes from someone who serves in the Navy in the same rank as Shipwreck.
Yes, I knew you were going to pull this one out.
Well, questioning why Shipwreck, who is
Dungarees.
he is a very senior enlisted man as a
Yes.
chief petty officer. And so why is he wearing dungarees? Why is he wearing a teacup hat? Like, they only ever wear their greens or their khakis. Like,
Yeah.
so, this guy was saying, like, I don't wear dungarees, so why is he wearing them? And would you like to no prize that? Oh, he also goes on about the fact that, like, as of 1986, Shipwreck's beard is out of regulation. Like, you can,
Right. Yeah, not
you can grow a
allowed.
beard. You can grow a beard for medical reasons, but outside of that, the Navy wants you baby smooth.
Is that why you were growing a beard? Was it medical reasons?
No, it's why I shaved, because I'm now serving in the Navy,
Okay, perfect.
defending
Perfect.
ourselves against China's invasion.
Because if I'm right from my knowledge of your flagship show, you didn't grow up liking Shipwreck. You're actually obsessed with him as an adult. He's like one of your absolute favorite characters, figures.
Yeah.
You are very into him now as a character as well.
Just to catch anyone up who is not a listener of GI Joburg, yeah, Shipwreck is a favorite now because he represents something that is so unique in GI Joe. He's that Han Solo.
I love it when you say Han Solo because I think that's bang on.
Well, you've got a
Yeah.
whole team of Boy Scouts, right?
Yeah.
You need your doubter. You need your guy who's like a little bit above all of this. Like, he's not.
Did you?
He's not
film-
necessarily the guy at the front of the charge waving the flag.
I'm getting something coming to my head that you did with Shipwreck. Did you film this, or is this from Sumbo? He's in a call box somewhere. He's in a phone booth somewhere at night.
Yeah.
Is that you? Is that play motion?
Yeah, it is.
What is it? Is that a skit that you did, or is that part of something bigger? It's so
the-
cool.
It's the concluding scene from a short called Bug Hunt. It just is. It touches
Or is this going to
on-
be another bug hunt?
Well, it's a story about a Cobra ship's captain, a sort of a Toxo Viper who has kind of he was a higher ranked guy and has fallen into the Toxo Viper Corps, and to prove himself, he's now serving in a Cobra Bug crew and sinking GI Joe vessels. Anyway, Shipwreck gets a hot tip from the inside as to where this bug might be, and he leads a mission to sink this captain. His inside man is actually a lady, and it's Mara, Cobra's mer lady.
Is this a short?
It is. Well, yeah. It doesn't sort of feed into a massive play motion saga.
Well, you should, guys. You want to go over and watch that because it's so cool, and you kind of realise that barely scratched the surface with potential shipwreck stories that you could do. And I kind of, in my head, they're actually a little bit sort of detached from GI Joe. He's just an interesting dude. Also interesting visually. Can you help me out with other versions of the O-ring shipwrecks? Because I just all I can think of is version 1. Hit me up with what else they did.
Well, if you're going to duck into the 2000s, it does have an O-ring, but it's the Big Shoulders era. And this is supported by the Devil's Due comic book, where he had a bit more of an operator look. What would you call it? Wet works, or he became a Navy SEAL. But beyond that, on GI Joe, he would have a knit cap, and a polo neck.
Ooh, this is exciting.
Dark colors, blues and blacks.
Okay.
In the later 90s, he actually got a wetsuit.
Well, this is my question to you then is, this is exciting. When Stalker version 2 was coming out and people were getting their version 2s, if you could go back, what would you love a 80s version 2 shipwreck to be? Oh, that's a good one.
He got an excellent figure in 1994. The swan song of the G.I. Joe line, and Shipwreck is in this dark grey wetsuit.
Right,
He's got an exposed
that does
face,
sound good.
But you do have a rubber mask that you put over.
Okay, I do have an issue with that though. Can I tell you my issue?
Let's hear it. Yeah.
I don't associate him being any good in the water. Do you feel like he's in a wetsuit? So what else has he got? Has he got oxygen?
But Ben, in the cartoon, all Joes donned wetsuits and were elite underwater. Like, dude,
yeah, I know.
J, Stalker.
But, okay, yeah, I suppose.
It's just giving him another environment to operate in. And if he is already a maritime Joe, it would be foolish to not have that. But some have criticized the fact that he by that stage of the team, like on the file card, it says that he's gone through SEAL training.
Ooh, is that too far?
Might be a bit overachiever for Shipwreck.
Certainly, that would not be happening in the Sunbow cartoon.
Well, he became a bit of a joke unto himself in the second season. I think he still had some credibility in the first season of G.I. Joe Sunbow.
Yeah, he's great in ARA when he pops up.
Competent. Uses that anchor on like a HISS tank, doesn't he?
And highly commands respect and is always dishing out orders that are being, followed and executed. Probably could have had more of him in ARA, to be honest with you.
Yeah, he didn't worm his way into Larry's heart.
No.
Like the writers on Sunbow loved him because he gave you that opportunity to have the cynic, to have the slacker, to have the guy who's just kind of like not as eager as the rest of the A-type personality G.I. Joe, flag-waving crew.
Yeah. He was certainly older as well, in my mind. As you said, that like the Han Solo to a lot of the little Lukes, maybe. Do you know what I mean?
And he started young. Like, he enlisted before he was of legal age. And we learn in the Sunbow cartoon that he was adopted. Like, he's a guy who doesn't really have much life outside of the military, ironically, for someone who's such a... And there's a great explanation in the core rulebook of the G.I. Joe RPG.
Love that,
by Renegade Game Studios, saying, like, Shipwreck might seem like he's slacking off and that he's over it. But the truth is he's very keenly intelligent. He's an exceptional soldier. And he's just kind of, like, already 5 steps ahead of everyone else. He's waiting for everyone else to catch up.
Yeah. Well,
play him how you will, but he's got a sweet-ass parrot.
I am waiting for everyone to catch up with this issue because before we close this out, my favourite line of dialogue is the Gung Ho and Zartan brawl kind of takes us through various different locations and they stumble into the reading room. Trash! Goodness gracious! Ruffians brawling in the reading room. Well, I never. So you do get some random green shirts, S-Jubs.
Chaplain's assistants.
Come on, ruffians brawling in the reading room. Well, I never. And there's a sign that says, quiet, please. I mean, they come through there mid-tussle. They are so in it. Mm-hmm. It's a classic trope when you, in a comic or a film, when you've got a tussle, take the fight through different locations, and it's a great opportunity for comedy if you just bust into somewhere quiet like that. One of them's got like a saucer and a book and a spilt coffee.
I mean, they are like penned like British toffs. What would you call them?
Oh yeah,
they're just like. They don't seem like Yanks at all. Yeah, they're drinking tea and they call these guys ruffians and say, goodness gracious.
Ruffians!
Maybe these guys are on loan from the UK.
Maybe we do make good loners. Right, let's close this episode out and let's...
Run and fetch somebody with the authority to discipline those louts.
Louts is right. Let's close it out. Let's get to the last page, S-Jubs.
All right.
Because...
still on this. Okay. Hawk in front of the jugglers.
Yeah, beautifully inked again. Look at that jet black on the back. Yeah. Nice establishing shots of the Pentagon as well.
With F-14s in the air.
And I guess it's just something, cementing that Kobe Bryant's off limits, baby. Off limits. So yeah, that's the end of that issue. Thoroughly enjoyed reading that, S-Jubs.
Affirmative.
One of your top 5 covers. Well, you should get it slabbed up. Get yourself a 9.8 and...
Well, then...
You are so not a slabber.
Well, that would also assume that I give a shit about covers. Like, crack the spine on that book. Like, I blow through the covers so quickly.
Yeah.
It's never been a thing for me.
No, you are a words guy. You've made that very clear. The story has your attention. The pictures have my attention. I think that speaks volumes about our characters, probably.
Let me not leave the listeners with the false pretense. I dislike this version of Zartan.
Oh!
Too talky. So, okay, hot take.
Hot take.
But this is a mediocre issue for me for the simple reason that it pushes Zartan's abilities too far. It absolutely is Mystique in the X-Mansion. It is not a place I like to see G.I. Joe.
You're so right. It is Mystique. Yes, because she can just go.
It's all integral to her.
God, it's Mystique in the bloody mansion.
Or Morph, if it's evil Morph. But like, basically, it's not a trope that I enjoy in a G.I. Joe book.
Yeah.
It had to go there because you had to see the upper extent of his power. Like, in order for him to do the shit that he does just casually in, everyday issues, this is his focus where you get to see it played out to its absolute, most high-powered set. But don't like that. Don't like it. Don't need it. Don't make. It's not part of my Zartan tapestry. So summing up how I feel about it? I think there's enough in there that makes it certainly very visually fun that I can overlook how sort of slightly champagne bubbles.
Yeah, do you know what I actually like? I actually like how those are drawn. If you're going to have to draw, if he's not Mystique and he's not kind of wrapping around, I feel like those champagne bubbles, which they're now forever going to be known as to me, I think work quite well. But maybe did they not lean into this as much going forward? Is there another issue of A-Ra where Zartan is fully mystiquing it up to this extent ever again? Or is it more like long con? I kind of like it when it's the long con for him, where it's just, he's in disguise one person.
Yeah. Look,
Yeah.
I mean, his siblings. Spoiler, but
We covered an issue where he turns into a werewolf. S-Jumps. That's we did cover that.
look, the champagne bubbles, or I'm going to call it the champagne flash, makes you feel like it is a lighting effect. So
No, that's optical. I think optical. When you with the bubbles and I think there's some kind of like he's got a tripod over in that hedge and he's set up another one and they kind of move and parallax with him and a lot of tech to for this illusion. But anyway,
Mystique in the
hit us up.
Mysterio in that Spider-Man movie, the MCU one.
Yeah,
he's got all these drones.
He's a special effects dude, isn't he? Historically, that's what he is. Yeah. Look, hit us up in the comments. How do you like your Zartan? Do you like him to be a man that puts fake eyelashes on? Do you like him to be like He-Man, oversized, superhuman? Or do you like him to be like Mystique? Just turn into anyone he wants. I mean, that makes him slightly exhausting for my money. But look, I have been at BenFlyingRetro. You've been S-Jubs. Follow me over on Instagram. Keep appreciating these thumbnails that I'm doing. My goodness, labor of love. I'm going to hire out a cafe in London and print out those thumbnails, put them on big canvases, and it would be open for like 3 days, and all of the Chasing Joe fans can come and appreciate those thumbnails.
I'm going to get a ticket.
Yeah. S-Jubs is flying over. Are you? Right, that just leaves me to say... Cobra! Zartan.